No heater, no jacket, no walls, just skin, snow, and a fire that could go out at any second. Every winter, for hundreds of thousands of years, this was the difference between living and being found frozen solid in the spring. So, how did they actually do it? Let's go back. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Humans are tropical animals. We evolved in warm African climates. We don't have thick fur, we don't have blubber, and unlike bears, our bodies are almost certainly too large and too active to hibernate through winter. Scientists have actually tested this theory, and most agree we simply weren't built for it. So, when early humans pushed north into freezing Ice Age Europe and Asia, they were walking into an environment their bodies were never designed to handle. Everything that kept them alive after that point had to be invented. The first tool was fire, but not just for warmth. Archaeologists studying Ice Age rock shelters found that ancient humans didn't just build fires in the open. They modified their shelters around them, draping large animal hides over cave entrances to block freezing wind, and building tent-like wooden frames inside rock overhangs, all arranged around a central hearth that reflected heat off the stone walls. It wasn't a campfire. It was closer to an insulated room engineered, on purpose, to trap heat. But fire alone couldn't protect you outside the shelter. For that, humans needed something most people never think about: the needle. For a long time, early humans in cold climates just draped loose animal hides over themselves, useful, but full of gaps where wind could get in. Then, around 30,000 years ago, something changed. Bone needles start appearing at Ice Age sites across Europe and Asia. Suddenly, humans weren't just wrapping themselves in fur, they were sewing it into fitted clothing, shirts, trousers, even boots. One archaeologist studying this period called the needle possibly the most important invention in human history. Not the spear, not the wheel, a needle. Because for the first time, humans could trap their own body heat instead of losing it, and they were specific about materials. Research on Ice Age sites shows humans used bear hides for insulation for at least 300,000 years, the oldest confirmed use of bear resources anywhere in the world. Reindeer and other furs were scraped clean with stone tools, then cut and sewn into multiple layers, each one trapping a pocket of warm air against the skin. This wasn't guesswork. It was layered, tailored, functional winter clothing built by hand from scratch, thousands of years before anyone had a word for jacket. But here's what most people get wrong. The cold itself wasn't the biggest threat. Starvation was. Winter meant almost no plants to gather and fewer animals to hunt. So ancient humans had to plan months in advance. They hunted large game like mammoths, bison, and horses, using coordinated group tactics to drive entire herds into natural traps like ravines, where the animals could be killed safely and in bulk. Then came the part that gets skipped in every documentary: food storage. At a cave in Israel, researchers found evidence that humans were wrapping bone marrow in animal skins and storing it for up to 9 weeks before eating it, essentially an early refrigerator. Other sites show humans weighing down meat and submerging it in cold ponds to preserve it, or simply relying on the freezing air itself to keep a kill from spoiling for months. They weren't just surviving the moment, they were surviving a season they hadn't lived through yet. And when the food ran low and temperatures dropped, activity itself changed. Evidence suggests that during the harshest stretches of winter, groups drastically reduced movement, staying inside shelters, conserving energy and body fat, only going out when it was absolutely necessary. Some researchers have even studied 400,000-year-old bones from Spain, showing possible signs of seasonal hibernation, like slowdowns in growth. It's a controversial theory, and most scientists don't think full hibernation is likely, but the evidence at least suggests something we still do today, just less extreme. When it's freezing outside, the body naturally wants to do less, eat differently, and wait it out. Here's the part that should actually change how you see this. For a long time, historians assumed the coldest parts of the Ice Age were simply empty, too brutal for anyone to live through. But in 2025, archaeologists in England uncovered stone tools buried in the exact layer of earth formed during one of the most extreme ice ages in European history. Proof that humans weren't just surviving nearby, they were living directly through it, not hiding from winter, not waiting it out somewhere warmer. Actually inside it, building, hunting, sowing. Storing food season after season for hundreds of thousands of years, long before writing, before agriculture, before anything we'd recognize as civilization. No heater, no forecast, no emergency number to call, just fire, fur, and each other. And somehow that was enough.